innocent black pro football player locked up for murder was nowhere near the scene, doesn't look like the individual at all, but it did happen. Put it up for a mask. A pro football player has been wrongfully jailed for not a few hours, not a mistake for a minute or two, not pulled over and inconvenienced. 67 days after being mistaken for a murder suspect with a similar name. Ty'Ran Tyrell Dixon, on the left, was arrested on September 30th, 2024. He was on his way back home on a flight from Finland. Dixon was dragged off of that flight, dragged off the plane, charged with murder immediately. Murder happened 80 miles away in another town. The suspect who was mistaken for was actually Tyren, spelling different, Romell Dickson, spelling different again, who committed the crime. Dixon's hellish experience, which involved being confined in 5 jails, and detention centers in 4 states, started on September 20th. Here's your timeline, 2024. When he was on his way home from Finland, where he plays for a pro football team, to visit his mother and other family in Columbia, South Carolina, passing through Boston's Logan Airport. Dixon, now in federal custody, was then sent to another county, Suffolk County in Boston, where he spent 17 days there. He was housed with the most dangerous individuals in the facility, including those who committed murder, sexual assault, gang members, professed Nazis, white supremacists, etc. He witnessed multiple fights, multiple beatings, and feared for his life. He committed no crime. Let's go ahead and put the pictures up. The suspect who actually committed the crime, as you can see, looks nothing like Dixon, the pro football player coming back from Finland on that day, and reportedly weighed about 115 pounds lighter than him, which made him distinctly different from the known suspect. There's more to this story, but already, obviously, significant investigative prowess was not key in the discovery of who this person actually was. Within 12 hours of Roach's killing in October, this was October 15, 2023, Sheriff Stephen Griffith, a defendant in the case, was told by a highly credible source that the alleged shooter had been identified by multiple witnesses as Tyren Dixon. Okay? The lawsuit states this: Griffith was given a photo of Mr. Dixon and images of his social media profiles. Dixon's build and physical description did not match the alleged suspect. None of it added up. Dixon, spelled with an X, was 6'3", weighed 295 pounds. The other Dixon, spelled with CK, was 6'1", weighed 180. So after spending a 67-day detention stint, Dixon with an X was transferred to a different prison, and then another prison, and another prison, and another prison, and another one. Spent 21 days in solitary confinement. Now, he is filing a lawsuit against the officers for malicious prosecution, negligence, and a simple failure of execution of basic police work. Here's the irony of that. Supreme Court said that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. If the police make a mistake, hell, they can kill you by accident and go home. So the police, they're going to say, we made a mistake here. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 20 of them. But they're all mistakes. And because the Supreme Court has ruled basically that police officers, they can be negligent, they can be a danger, but it's about their subjective belief and what should have happened. They are allowed to do this without the penalty of statute or even civil. All right, so hopefully the lawsuit does something. Let's put them up. So the county deputy sheriffs, Barnwell, Lieutenant Matthew Davis, and investigator Noah, Kleinholtz, they allegedly failed to show any witness with knowledge of the incident or who knew the actual suspect. Tyren Dixon, CK, a picture or a photo array of Dixon with an X as a suspect for identification purposes. Now, if you've watched Law and Order a time or two, this is a quite normative process where the charges are so extreme, murder, that positive identification is required. Usually you need that even for the district attorney to agree on taking it to a grand jury. You need positive, either video or positive witness identification. They didn't get that. So in a Facebook post, this happened last week. In a Facebook post last week, Cheryl Brand, Dixon's mother, noting the upcoming anniversary of her son's arrest and suffering due to the negligence of the sheriff's department, said, quote, all the damn money in the world would never, ever give him back the time he spent incarcerated. Okay, a lot of extremes here. So they get all of the prerequisite investigations wrong because they decide not to engage in investigative work at all. They're negligent. I would say criminally so. And that's if you believe they are just lazy cops and you accept that on good faith, or they don't care about Black men, and you can accept that they're biased and their bias contributed to it. But then you have the investigation that typically takes place in order to prosecute a case. You have arresting officers, but then you have another investigative dynamic when the person is in fact caught. In this case, he did nothing wrong. But now you investigate, how do we land the case for a conviction? He's in jail for 70 days. 70 days, multiple facilities. Where's the district attorney? Where's the next level of justice? Where's the judge that heard a bond hearing? Where's the magistrate court? My point is, he wasn't let down by two cops. He wasn't criminalized by two cops. He was criminalized by the entire system to get to this point. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
My thoughts are this. As a Black woman, I understand completely what went down here. Beyond, I'll start with her. And not when are we going to get the time back? When are we going to get him back? When can we get him back? That's the issue. The other thing is, I hear people who I've experienced throughout my life saying, well, what are you making such a big deal? Things happen. Get over it, Doc. Besides, they all look alike, and most young Black men are going to visit the criminal system at some point in their life. I mean, as if, well, you know the rest. They're not real people.
Yep. Yeah, and I know why the mother said that. The brother served hard time with folk that really did kill people and committed some of these acts, and he's probably shaken. He's probably not the same human being he was prior to the experience. We'll bring you updates as they come.